Have you ever looked back over like a year or two, maybe even 5, and thought, wow, the me today is nothing like the me then? Like even if we look to 2019, before any of the COVID and the shutdown, like I am a totally different version of myself than I was then. And in some ways, I'm pretty proud of that. Like I did some pretty good work on me, but also at the same time, there's some things that I look different and I'm not really excited about it. There's some work that still needs to be done. And maybe you're with me on that. Like you can see some work that needs to be done in you. Now, Jude in the Bible, he's a pretty interesting guy. He writes a section in the Bible that's really short. Everyone else in the Bible has several chapters, but Jude only has one. And what's interesting is he starts the chapter by saying, I was really excited and eager to talk about one thing, but then I realized that this other idea, this other topic is so much more important. And if I can only write one chapter, this is it. This is what I want to leave you with. This is too important to ignore. And so today we're going to take a little bit of a glimpse into it. And so open up with me to Jude, and we're going to look at verse 3. We're going to start right in. It says, Dear friends, I've been eagerly planning to write to you about the salvation that we share. But now I find that I must write about something else, urging you to defend the faith that God has entrusted once for all time in his holy family. I say this because some ungodly people have wormed their way into your churches, saying that God's marvelous grace allows us to live immoral lives. The condemnation of such people was recorded long ago, for they have denied their only Master and Lord Jesus Christ. What's interesting here is that he's talking about a people that have somehow ended up in the church. People that Jude is probably talking to their friends, talking to people that they hang out with. And he's saying, be careful, because some of you have wormed your way in and you believe something totally different. And that belief is causing the church to stray. You see, there's a really critical point here that Jude is telling us. He's saying the way we live should and does impact what we believe. The way we live tells what we believe. And when people worm their way in and skew what God is asking us to do and live, how he's asking us to live, that impacts us. It also impacts the decisions we make. And you see, Jude ends up going through some stories of their history, the people he's talking to, and he's reminding them of moments where decisions led to another decision, to another, and eventually it all went wrong. And God, being a just and true and honest and fair God, got to a point where he said, I can't ignore the immorality any longer, and he had to make a stand. And those who had made bad decisions, one after the next, ended up getting caught in destruction and condemnation. And this is what Jude is warning us about. He's going, hey, the relationships that you have with Jesus, those are all impacted by the decisions you make. Your decisions impact your relationship with Jesus. And when you're not careful, the people you surround yourself with can impact your decisions. It can impact your judgment. And if you joined us for our series called Invested, we talked about the importance of people in our lives and choosing people who will encourage us and challenge us and not lead us astray. And so Jude, I think, would agree with that. Who are the people in your life? What are the decisions you're making every day that can impact who you're going to be in 2 years? You see, what you believe right now is going to impact who you will be in 2 years. What you believe impacts how you live. And for us as Christians, we have a God who brings great hope, and a God who reminds us that we are loved, we are cared for. We have a God who, though, challenges us and says, you've got to keep getting better. You can't stay where you are. And that God, I believe, is fighting for me, advocating for me. And that's the relationship that I hope you can see in me 2 years from now. That's the relationship I hope we can see in you. Y'all, I'm excited because us in 2 years is going to look a lot different than us right now. And I'm excited to see what that looks like in you.